that, first I'd like to invite Thirukkumaran Nagarajan sir, who is the Vice President and HR Head with IBM India and South Asia. He is responsible for the people, strategy, leadership skill, engagement, employee services, and diversity inclusion of the workforce across India and South Asia. Thiru brings over 23 years of experience across hospitality and human resource, including expertise in delivering digital HR solution, driving culture transformation. He has held several people leadership positions across India, South Asia, comes with international experience of working in USA, Middle East, and Africa region. To join him, we have Anjana Hariharan, who is the Executive Partner, Talent Transformation with IBM India. Anjana has more than 24 plus years of business leadership, pre-sales, operations, program management, consulting, domain expertise spanning multiple industries, utility, communication, government, healthcare, and education. Currently, Anjana leads the talent transformation services line with IBM. Can we welcome both of them with a very big round of applause?
Okay, so first it's a privilege to speak to all of you. I'm joined with my colleague Anjana. We both work for IBM. So it's 20 minutes and it's a pretty deep topic. Impact of AI, that could take a day. Adoption, future of workforce. We wanted to just have some fun and touch all these areas and keep it very light. So before we get, in this 20 minutes, we'd like to break it into 3 parts. First, we'd like to just do a small skit, which might just set the stage. She will probably touch some topics around one experience that we show you, and then we'll probably keep 5-10 minutes for questions, because I think that's very useful. It's always good to exchange ideas. Okay. So,
So I'm the manager at IBM for this particular skit, and I should be saying good evening to all of you because we are assuming it's 9 in the night, and I still have one transaction to go and my little doggy to be walked out as well. So what I decide is I will do this transaction while I'm taking my dog for a walk, and I will call HR because HR is always available at IBM for all of us. Okay? So I dial HR. I'm using this as my mobile because too many things, we are not very comfortable with pockets like mine, unfortunately not very privileged. So I dial my HR while my little dog is also walking with me.
hello, how can I help you today?
Hi, I'm Anjana and I need to transfer somebody in my team.
Hello, Anjana. Please can you authenticate yourself by punching in your talent ID?
Sure, here you go.
All right, so she updates her credentials. Thank you for validating your talent ID. Firstly, Anjana, congratulations on completing 10 years in IBM. How can I help you with your transfer request?
Thank you. I need to transfer Ravi from my team to Thiru Nagarajan. Please, can you do the needful?
Yes. Is this Ravi Kumar or Ravi Sharma?
Yes, it's Ravi Kumar.
Can you specify a business reason for this transfer? Is it a role change or is it a promotion or?
He's taking an expanded role.
Thank you, Anjana. Would you like to give him a salary increase during this transfer?
Yes, please, can you give him a 10% increase as well while you transfer him?
Ravi Kumar is a cloud architect. His skills are niche. It's valued by our clients. Based on market competitiveness of his current compensation and the future demand, I recommend you consider granting a 15% salary increase. Please confirm if you would like to proceed with a 10% or 15% increase.
Lovely. I agree with the 15% increase for Ravi Kumar.
Do you have business unit approvals for this increase? If yes, click 1. Else, click 0.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please confirm the effective date of transfer and effective date of increase.
Please make both effective from 1st of December 2022.
Thank you, Anjana. Before I complete the transfer, please reconfirm that you would like to transfer Ravi Kumar to Thiru Nagarajan effective 1st of December with a 15% salary increase.
I confirm.
Anjana, I have completed the transfer submission and it has been approved. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, thank you.
Okay, Anjana, before you go, please remember to appreciate Vikram from your team for completing 100 hours of learning. You have $500 in your budget for recognition left before it expires by end of this year.
Oh, thank you for the reminder. I will surely find time this week to do the needful.
Great. Have a nice day, Anjana.
Thank
And the
you.
exchange ends. So, for some of you in the IT industry, this probably is a very simple transaction that most HR professionals might face. A simple manager who's been busy all day, forgot to transfer somebody, had to go home, get 10,000 steps before she sleeps, also had to walk the dog, and remembered at 9 p.m. And she wanted to get the job done, so she called HR. This whole thing probably took 3 minutes, except that the HR wasn't a human being. It was an agent. It's a digital assistant, which is AI powered, but it was very human. It recognized natural language. It was safe and secure. It authenticated Anjana. All of this is happening in the cloud. It simultaneously looked up who Anjana is in the organization, recognized she's got $500 left, which is unspent. So data is churning real time to prompt proactively. It looked up members of her team. 2 Ravis existed, so he said, please clarify which Ravi. It also looked at Ravi to say what skills that this person has. And although she recommended a 10%, the AI engine looked at market competitiveness, the value for IBM, and it says, hey, you might want to give a higher increase because of the skills value. And all of this happened in 2 minutes. And she was able to get this all done just like that. Now, I just want you to pause and think, if this was something in your organization, what would you go through in terms of getting somebody a 15% increase? Because eventually you might have to talk to somebody in HR. Would they be available at 9 at night? What kind of approvals process would you need? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the future of AI, not very far away. It's actually here and now. It's also mobile channel based, and you must realize that your last best experience that you encounter in any engagement, any transaction, any exchange becomes the minimum expectation for all exchanges in the future, right? So whenever you pretty much have a delightful experience, you remember it. And you might want to wonder, why can't I have that experience in every future exchange and interaction that I will encounter? Why can't that be in HR? In everyday matters, in everyday exchanges that we have in our organization. So, we just thought we'll just lay this out because this is not far away, it's actually here and now. And I know that most organizations are moving towards the future of technology, its impact and adoption and AI, etc. And it's not easy, and they will be through various degrees of maturity in that journey because it's truly a journey. So we have the privilege of working in an IT company that innovates, so we experiment with a lot of these. But yeah, so let me just hand it over to Anjana to take you through some of the aspects which I think you will appreciate, and then we'll open it up for questions. Yeah?
Thank you, Agent Thiru. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the adoption of AI and digital and analytics in the world of HR. So what does future of workforce look like? I think we've spoken that in every session today. We're talking about hybrid, and hybrid in terms of a workforce where a manager Anjana, a human Anjana, and a bot like Thiru can coexist and co-thrive. We're talking about a hybrid work structure. In the morning, we had a question about gig workers. So we need to make space and provide growth opportunities for the gig workers in our organization, and every organization needs to do that. A hybrid work workplace. And in this world of hybrid, I think employee experience becomes the most important challenge. Along with this and coupled with this, we also have various other business challenges to address. And each of our organization is in a business of its own, but irrespective of what business today we are in, with the increasing amount of digital transformation which is happening, everybody has gone on cloud. In my past 3 years, I have not met clients who have not invested in at least 2 public clouds. And having said this, everybody has not even moved their mission critical systems onto cloud, right? So imagine the humongous amount of data that we are looking at from systems which are probably not even talking to each other. So how do we derive value from this explosion of data that is available? And finally, how do we drive competitive operations? We are all dealing with worker shortages because there are skill shortages. How are we going to upskill, reskill our talent and workforce? How does HR live up to this? We need to deliver on experience and bring in talent agility. The session before we talked about HR, agile HR. Talent agility is probably one of the key things which we need to bring about. We need to augment decisions and enhance efficiencies through AI. And finally, because almost 85 million jobs are going to be digitized in the next coming couple of years. We're just facing it. It's now. It's not anymore in the future. And all of this HR needs to do by doing it local, because one size does not fit all in this age. We have a workforce which ranges from millennials to people like Thiru and me who have multiple decades in the industry. All of this, how do we bring to life? Data, I think this dream that Thiru was weaving right at the beginning after the skit, that everything comes to life and we have so much of bots, we have digitization, we have agility, we have AI in the picture. All of this data is fundamental. It is important that we choose a simple infrastructure. Simple may not be easy, but simplicity is necessary. We decide on the foundation technologies that we're going to work on and partner, because no one can do it all. So decide on the right partners. In the morning, we were talking about EY and IBM partnership, and I think that speaks volumes about how we partner with various organizations for the right reasons. Platforms, once the systems of records are ready, we move to the platform of insights, and that's very, very important. HR today is not only simplifying the operating model, it is not about getting the right skills, it is also augmenting your skills. What we spoke today in HR in IBM, it is not only MBA grads. Thiru comes from HR and he's talking technology. I come from a technology background, I'm talking HR. We have data scientists, we have people with data analytics, we have AI folks. Everybody is a part of the HR organization today. So tech and HR are no longer 2 diverse functions in the organization. Tech is a part of HR and HR is a part of technology today. And all of this, weaving it into a culture of the organization where HR is not seen as something or a function which is at the periphery, but a function which brings business to you. I was speaking to somebody during the coffee break and they said it's nice that you can create business. Yes, we create business for ourselves with all that we do in HR within ourselves. So that you are the revenue generators also. So think of you not as a function at the periphery, but as a core function, which is actually reskilling the entire talent workforce. Intelligent workflows. Each company will have its intelligent workflow. The workflow which Thiru and I demonstrated is one such millions of workflow which we have within, I think, in almost all organizations today. And finally, I think it's all about employee experience. We talk a lot about customer experience, but I think employee experience is far important, because unless you give a wow experience to your employees, you're not going to do justice to the external customers at all. And finally, we are not talking about robotizing HR at all. AI is important, automation is important, trust, security, all of this is important, but keep the compassion alive, because that's where the true HR comes into picture. It is we automate and we use AI to do the repetitive tasks, not to do the tasks which really require the human touch. So that is important as well. This little skit that we brought to you is an example of Ask HR from IBM. And this slide just gives you a sneak peek into what this bot, which Thiru enacted, actually does for us IBMers across the world. If you look at the transactions, it is 6.6 million transactions in 2021. And Thiru last night gave me the data that we've handled 3 million questions, interactions with this bot just in the last quarter alone in India. So imagine the amount of cost savings, the savings on effort, the savings on time that we have done in digitizing, in bringing AI, analytics, automation, NLP, machine learning, everything on a mobile user interface, your laptop, your desktop, right? So that is AI in action for you. And finally, when you do all of this, you will definitely get into a change management challenge, because you're going to be integrating your technology, which we talked about, along with process and people. But then that's for a discussion for next time. Thank you.
So we're open
Now,
to,
both the bot and the human are ready for questions. Yes.
Thank you for the excellent presentation, Mr. Thirukkumaran and Ms. Anjana. And we come to know a lot about IBM. I always wonder, I see a lot of employees retention, working in IBM for 20 years, 30 years. I keep hearing this from at least from my HR fraternity. So I would like to know what IBM is doing differently to retain the employees with such a long tenure, and what are your key retention measures other than monitoring? If you can give us some tips, that will be helpful for us.
Sure. Say it's been a difficult year. That being said, most people when they say I want to leave, the manager usually says, how much money are you getting? That's like the default first thing that people comes to mind. Can I retain you with just throwing money at you? Wrong answer. People don't leave for money all the time. And that's where I think a lot of the data and the insight actually helps. When you have a team of, let's say, 20 people, a manager pretty much leads 20 people, you don't know the details around everybody to that extent because they're spread out. A manager could be in Bangalore having teams in Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, Kochi, everywhere else. If you know and you have a certain budget, it's not an infinite kit of money, you have to know where to invest your money in. So I think I'm going to say a mature prioritization of investment proactively, where we have technology that actually nudges managers saying, hey, you haven't appreciated Anjana for more than 6 months, you might want to say thank you. It just happens to the manager. It's not a human being. It's just a nudge that comes in. As a simple example. So we empower the managers. So let me give you, let's say we have over 100,000 employees. We have about 35 HR partners that deal with everybody. Just do the math. For 100,000 employees, we have 35 HR partners. That's it. So when you have such a disparate, spread out people, it is impossible for managers to speak to a human HR person for every question. And which is why we have about 3 million interactions with our system to give them the right advice at the right time, anytime, 24/7. So this was 9 p.m., you call it 2 o'clock. Great experience. So I think a big deal will be on manager. The manager was able to make a decision on the spot to raise it by 5% more than what she had in mind in a simple transfer transaction. So I think it's a combination of things. It's not easy. That's one. The second thing is the broader answer. It's all about, are you learning? In India, people like to learn. They like to work hard. They like to be successful in their life and career. So as long as you're able to give them that environment of continuous challenge, a sense of fulfillment, the quality of people that you work with every day, are you getting a global exposure? People have aspirations to be better than what they were yesterday. So if that environment is there, then That's good. People typically don't leave you unless somebody like buys you out with like 20 times more money, which happens, by the way. So yeah, I think the basics matter. We empower our managers big time. Manager is the HR person. We guide them. Yeah. Hope that was helpful.
Thank you, that was very insightful. So I have a small question on the conversational AI bot that you spoke about. So I think it was in the year 2016 or maybe later when Microsoft launched 𝗕𝗂𝘂, thinking about you. That was their conversational AI, and it was touted as an AI without chill. However, in 24 hours of the launch, they had to shut it down. Why? Because the bot, and this was an unsupervised bot, so the bot started churning out racist and derogatory remarks. And that's when, the world realized that, possibly we're not ready for unsupervised AI. We still need something known as collaborative intelligence. Ever since then, I've been dabbling with this issue that how do you create supervision on AI? And what is the real framework required and the skill sets? And I'm not talking about data analysts, and I'm not talking about Python here, but broadly, what should be the framework to run a supervised AI, irrespective of the use case?
It's a great question. I'll do my best to answer it. You got to have IBM sits on the worldwide board of setting AI ethics. So we actually set and shape how an AI interaction should be with academia, with industry, with Human Rights Watch, and across the world. So we have that privilege. So some of our IBM fellows actually write the charter of how future of AI should be, the pitfalls and how it adds value to the human being versus replace. It has to be a controlled environment, secure. It has to, this AI is not just responding to questions, it's actually learning who you are. So the next time Anjana calls, it might refer back to the previous conversation. So it's learning, and you've got to have like an exponential technology that actually brings it all together. So you have to be able to code and develop that technology within that charter of transparency, authenticity, and explainable AI. Because a lot of times, managers will not trust it. It's giving me a recommendation. What's the basis? Because I have in my mind, this person on my left is really the person I want to groom. Whereas AI might say, this is the person on the right. Actually, you're missing out because of all the data points. So any recommendation has to be explainable. The last thing I'm going to say is, there's a lot of bias discussion that comes up. Based on this recommendation, is this biased? How is the AI engine making that recommendation? So there's a lot of work that goes into it. There's no right or wrong answer, but we try to bring data-based, evidence-based, explainable suggestions to a manager. It's the human being that makes that decision, not the AI. The AI will present data, facts, and come to you talking to 100 data points which a human brain may not remember. And in the you're doing 5 things at a time. You're running, you're getting your steps, you're jogging, you're walking the dog. I don't know what else you'll be doing, but you need somebody to help you. I don't think even a human HR partner might be able to it might think about 2 or 3 things. So that's how AI, it's a journey and it never ends.
And it's also constant monitoring of the use cases which are being done. I think in IBM we have a specialized team which keeps doing that. So we don't land up into situations like what you said, and which are very real situations.
Yeah. Somebody else? Last question perhaps?
Yes, last one.
So great presentation, especially on the bots in HR. I want to also ask you, how are you managing the employee experience through a bot? For example, let's just flip it. If Anjana was asking for a 15% increase and the bot says 10%, Anjana is not happy with the solution. How do you deal with it? What is Anjana's experience while working on a bot who is not trained to, handle difficult situations?
Great question. Actually, the system's trained to handle human reaction, whatever that might be. So if it recommends the opposite, a 10%, it's Anjana's call saying, I want to go ahead with 15%. It's okay. Eventually, the system's giving you data and evidence-based suggestion. Now, if she's got a limited pot of money and wants to over-invest on something that's not somebody who's not as valuable as, let's say in this case, a cloud architect, maybe a Java developer, she's taking money, precious money that people don't always have, and putting it on something less valuable. So if this person leaves, you can probably hire 3 more people. So the system's actually challenging your assumption and giving you a fact-based priority saying, hey, you may not want to prioritize this person, you may want to prioritize that person. So it is trained, but like I mentioned, the manager makes the call. So if you want to spend your money on something less valuable, your call. Because after that, you don't have money more.
Are empowered to take their decisions. The bot is helping them to do that. That's about it. So we are not replacing, and that's what I touched upon in my slide. We are not trying to robotize the HR at all. It's just enabling you to take better decisions with data in hand. That's all it is.